Tragically, E3 passed without any comical sound bites.
It's Ridge Racer! Ridge Racer!
Yet the internet always finds something to complain about. For those of you who don't scour internet websites instead of working, let me tell you about the latest women in video games controversy. It all started when a little company called Ubisoft presented the latest Assassin's Creed game ironically titled Unity. Ubisoft's E3 presentation showed off the game's new cooperative multiplayer. Essentially, you and a few other players can unite to complete missions. Women were noticeably absent from most of the promotional material and gameplay footage. When journalists started asking questions like, where are the women, Ubisoft responded that there are no female assassins in co-op. Rather than inviting a mix of men and women to the murder party, you can only play as a man sticking a dagger where the sun don't shine. Turns out Ubisoft really wanted to include women as partners in homicide, but they ultimately decided that the effort to include half of humanity just wasn't worth it. What bulletproof rationale did they give? Let Ubisoft Montreal's Alexandre Amancio say it himself. It's double the animation, it's double the voices, all that stuff, and double the visual assets, especially because we have a customizable assassin. It was really a lot of extra production work. Various media outlets like Kotaku, Eurogamer, and Polygon exploded with articles pointing out the enormity of this blunder. Ubisoft responded with this: No, you've got it all wrong. The co-op characters are all supposed to be the same guy. Sort of. Stay with me because it's a bit convoluted. You, the player, will always control Arno, the game's protagonist. When you play co-op, your comrades appear as B-string, perhaps randomized assassins. But on their TVs, they're also playing as Arno, and they see you as the random assassin. Essentially, co-op characters aren't completely customizable avatars, just variable stand-ins. This avoids seeing 4 of the same Frenchmen in the same place and creating a time travel paradox. The problem it does create, however, is just how much control players get over their virtual projections. Do we get to choose the outfits, the faces, weapons? How much of my protagonist do the other players see? At the very least, we know that women won't be allowed to show their gender. I'm neither a programmer nor animator and nowhere close to being competent at producing a video game, but how difficult, time-consuming, or cost-effective would it have been to represent women in a game whose developers constantly harp on about diversity? Not very difficult, according to the lead animator of Assassin's Creed 3. He and other industry types are calling out Ubisoft for what has become a complete PR cluster F. Assassin's Creed has a great track record of bringing diverse representation to video games. Liberation featured a woman of color, and Assassin's Creed 2 showed a much more complex side of Italians than a red-capped plumber. But all of this doesn't give Ubisoft the free pass to screw up so badly, especially when we're talking about a project invested with hundreds of millions of dollars and a similar level of production hours. Leaving women unrepresented in the co-op was a conscious decision that has a greater effect than removing women from a game's core aspect. The co-op mode is presented as the game's defining feature, and that marketing machine is already in motion. For the next 6 months, we're going to be bombarded by male-centric advertisements. This is the banner shown at E3 focusing on the co-op's dude assassins standing around stoically looking all manly and assassiny. The gameplay demos and trailers look like a murderous sausage fest. Assassin's Creed Unity looks like every other video game designed by men for men. Like so many other developers, Ubisoft prioritized men over women. It's the male privilege of gaming. I'm lucky because I never have to worry about being able to represent myself in a video game. As the industry grows and matures, it's baffling to see Ubisoft make such a dumb decision in the big-budget blockbuster marketplace. Listen up, Ubisoft. Women are 48% of all gamers. Traditional console users are a bit trickier to gauge, but 40% of Xbox 360 users were women, so extrapolate from that. Excluding female representation from AAA games isn't just wrong from a creative standpoint, it's limiting a game's potential audience. You can't expect masses of people to buy games that don't represent them or market to them properly. Taken discreetly, Ubisoft's blunder is a blip, a momentary lapse of judgment that because of the outrage will probably be fixed by a last-minute patch or future DLC. But throw in Assassin's Creed Unity with a mountainous pile of games that fail to represent women and you get a systematic problem that shows no signs of disappearing in 2014. Video games let us do a lot of things. They allow us to live vicariously through the experiences of someone else. The Assassin's Creed series has always been dear to me since it let me walk the streets of Crusade-era Jerusalem and jump along Venetian rooftops. Games also give us the chance to play idealized versions of ourselves in scenarios both fantastical and realistic. I'm not up in arms about a Frenchman being an assassin during the French Revolution. I'm mad that a co-op mode that's touted strength as customization from a company that wears diversity as a badge fails to deliver. In doing so, Ubisoft proves that women, despite increasing importance in gaming culture, are consistently underserved by the industry. Thanks for watching, and mahalo.